Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of NXT broadcast live on USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The main event saw Carmelo Hayes win a triple threat with Dijak and Baron Corbin to earn a shot at the NXT Championship at Halloween Havoc. Hayes pinned Corbin for the win.
Contender. Another counter by, oh, wait a minute. Into Days by Baron Corbin. Into the net. He's shot into the cover. Hayes. Yes. Carmelo Hayes, number one contender.
Here is your winner, Carmelo Hayes.
The emotional roller coaster of an evening for Carmelo Hayes.
In what was presented as the Bada Bing Bada Boom Tag Team Battle Royal, Jayce emerged victorious, last eliminating Los Lotharios to earn an NXT Tag Team title shot at Halloween Havoc.
Tag Team Battle Royal, there's Brutus.
Oh, come on now, come on.
Truly, what do you mean,
not
come
like
on?
this.
What do you
Not
mean,
like this,
The
man.
Creed Brothers
Not like
in the match to
this.
begin with. Chase into the cover. Finally, the official season, and yes, Chase University headed to Halloween Havoc.
Here are your winners, the Captain and Andre Chase University.
Get the rally towels out.
In women's breakout tournament matches, Ariana Grace beat Brynlee Reese, and Carmen Petrovic went over Jada Parker via submission. In other results, Shotzi defeated Kiana James, and Lyra Valkyria defeated Tegan Knox, thanks in part to a distraction by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. In ratings news, last Monday night's episode of Raw drew a total audience of 1.483 million to USA Network, according to WrestleNomics. That's a drop of 5% from last week's episode, which drew 1.557 million. Despite the drop in total viewership, in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic, Raw scored a .44 rating, which was slightly up from last week's .43 rating. AEW Collision experienced a large increase in viewership with last Saturday's episode, which brought in 504,000 viewers to TNT. That's a bump of 43% from the previous week's total of 353,000. The key demo rating also saw an increase of more than 50%, coming in at .14 after the previous week's key demo rating of .09. And in independent wrestling news, Trish Adora's reign as the Pan-African World Diaspora Champion has been ended at exactly 3 years and 8 months. Adora lost the title last Sunday in a three-way match, with Sugar Dunkerton emerging as the new champion in a bout which also included Darius Carter. The match was the main event of Fight Club's Thriller show at the American Legion in Cheverly, Maryland. Adora was the first Pan-African World Diaspora Champion and had held the title since February 15, 2020, with 18 successful defenses. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.